Welcome to the big show. It's the Retire Young radio show. If you're a first-time listener, thanks for stopping by. I am your host, Joshua David, and we are happy to have you with us today. As always, I have my great friend, my great pal, and how the heck are you doing today, Al?
You know what? I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. How are you doing?
You are welcome, and I am doing very good as well.
Oh, good.
It is always great to be back, helping our Retire Young family make those better investing decisions. Al, we had another phenomenal week in these markets. We had some really good volatility with considering what is happening in this world, which always comes down to opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity in these financial markets if you know what you're doing. And today we're going to talk about that. Some of the different techniques, the different concepts that we as average investors can use that the smart money is using. All those same techniques are available to us. But here's one problem, is we're not taught that anywhere.
Correct.
And I want to bring that out to light. I want to talk about some of those techniques and how we can participate. But before we do that, Al, let's hit up these markets. What are some of the great things that are happening, current market conditions, and how can we participate?
Yeah, well, the great thing is the markets are open. And
There
as
you go.
long as they are open, there are opportunities, and we talk a lot about the volatility, the upward movement, the downward movement of the markets. And for most people, a downward move, a pullback in a market is looked at as a bad thing. It's just an opportunity in a different direction. And the key is look at the market as presenting these opportunities, which it does on a regular basis. Then the key then is to have the preparation, be prepared to take advantage of those opportunities.
And now is the time to prepare for that.
Now's a great time to prepare for it. We're going to be facing probably some new things when we come out on the other side of this pandemic and all the things that are going on, with the political situation. There will be some new opportunities and some great chances for people to participate in the different markets and different market conditions. There's two things that are available to everyone right now, Josh. One is access to the markets, which can be a good thing. It's a great thing because it's available to everybody. It's a bad thing because it's available to people that shouldn't be doing it because they're not prepared.
Well, that's what it comes down to. Is you have to be prepared, but you have to do that early enough to know what to do.
Yeah. Well, the second thing that's available is access to financial education. And the two go together. It's the access to financial education, then the access to the market. That's the way it should be done. And our mission, our goal, we talk about that all the time, is to deal with financial illiteracy.
Yeah.
And the real goal within that is to increase investors' confidence. If you're going to be doing this, don't do it by adding stress to your life. Feel confident and comfortable when you're doing this, and you have to have odds in your favor to be able to do that. And it's that lack of confidence, I think, that keeps people out of these markets. So how do you do that? How do you achieve that level of confidence? Number one, you have to have the right tools. Number two, you have to have a solid strategy. And number three, you have to have an understanding of how to keep emotions under control. It comes down to really something very simple, Josh. It's if more people are buying something, then price will go up. If more people are buying than selling, price is going to go up every time. If more people are selling than buying, price is going to go down every time in every market.
Now, think about that. That's exactly how everything in our everyday life works, right? If there's more buyer, look at the home market right now. There's a heck of a lot of buyers out there. So what is everybody doing? Raising their prices.
Correct.
And that's the same thing in the financial markets. And people think that financial markets is this, this foreign object that nobody knows what to do. Well, that's true, but it runs the same way.
Yeah. And the key then is to develop an understanding of how the markets function, why they function the way they do. And it really gets down to supply and demand and that relationship between supply and demand. But it has to be enough supply, enough demand. And in the financial markets, we're talking about buyers and sellers. There has to be enough buy orders to provide that imbalance between the relationship and enough sell orders to provide the imbalance to move the prices. And really what we want to look for in any trade or investment is a high probability trade. That's putting the odds in your favor, the probabilities in your favor, and then also with high profit potential. And in any market at any time, that happens at or near the turn in price. So it means that it's really important to be able to identify when price is going to change, when it's going to move. And the origin of any move in price is that relationship between the buyers and sellers. When it's out of balance, and it really has to be created by a large number of buyers or a large number of sellers or large buy orders, large sell orders created by the institutions. And you think for a minute that the institutions have a better idea of what the value of something is than the novice traders do?
Potentially.
Yeah, well, they're spending hundreds of millions of dollars a year on data and research and sophisticated systems that we don't have access to. The great thing is we don't need that. We just need to know what they're doing, when they're going to do it, and be able to identify that on a price chart. That's where that core strategy comes in. I mentioned a solid strategy is necessary for confidence. That's a foundational strategy that should help you get in at the right price and you get out at the right price. And that's based on that institutional activity. The real key is to be able to identify it in advance, which sounds an awful lot like timing.
It sounds like it.
Really.
What is that T word?
Yeah. What is timing? Well, really, it's just finding where the buyers are and where the sellers are, being able to identify that on a price chart. And if the institutions know what the true value of something is before they take a position in it, do you also think that maybe they know when it's overvalued and they want to get out of a position?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're doing. That's what's moving the market. And unfortunately, for a lot of the novice traders out there, the part that they really don't know is when to get out. They have a hard enough time finding the right time to get in, but have no idea when is the right time to get out.
Well, that's some of those components of trading and investing. It's where to get in your position, but also where to get out. It's not just buy and hope things happen in your favor.
Right.
You have to have the proper strategy like you were talking about. And it all comes down to having more confidence. And hopefully we can increase people's confidence to make better investing decisions, to trade more like the smart money instead of against them. The novice or the public is trained and conditioned from a young age to do it the wrong way. Al, we got a lot to discuss here today. In these investing classes, I want to make sure everybody knows what's happening in there. There's different topics on how to manage risk, common mistakes novice investors make, but also how to minimize them. So, Al, coming up next, I want to dive into the smart money and what they are doing to create income with the financial markets, especially the stock market, but they also utilize other markets out there. So let's talk about those. This is Josh and Al with the Retire Young radio show. We'll be right back.